Okay, welcome back. So the second part of this fake ad exercise, we're going to take this image and this unfinished layered file, and we're going to place an Illustrator just to illustrate a couple points. I'm going to go to my Illustrator file, get a new file going on here, and it takes forever. And we're going to name this guy, fake 3. We're going to make this 8.5 by 11. And this is actually what I was kind of talking about. This is the bleed area, so you can put in the bleed. The top right now is defaults to 1.25. You can actually go up. It goes in 1/8 inch increments, and right now we added 1/4 of an inch all the way around, or 1/4 inch on the top and the bottom, and 1/4 inch on the sides. So you actually have to divide that in half, which equals 1.25. 0.125, sorry. So we're going to go OK. And you'll see this is the actual document itself, and then you've got the actual bleed running across here. So now, and I'm going to kind of kill back this stuff. I'm going to get my first layer. I'm going to name this image. I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to call her text. So then I'm going to go to my image layer, and I want to place this image. I don't want to like copy and paste it. I don't want to go to File, Place, and this is very important. Then we got to find that lovely image that we were working from. There it is, right there. Right now, you go to place it. You've got this little guy turned on. This is a link button. Always keep this thing turned on. If I turn this off, it's going to place this image, but it's going to embed it. It's going to make it part of this file. Number one, that makes the file really large, and number two, that actually if I make any changes to this ad, which I'll be making lots of changes to it, there's no linking, it doesn't update itself. There's no dynamic update. So if I link this guy, think of this as almost like an HTML link to a web page. So you type in whatever web page you want to go to. Every day, information changes. If this link is broken, then you can't get the information. Same idea here. If this link is turned off, then the image is embedded. For example, it's stuck inside this Illustrator file. You make any changes to this actual the original Photoshop file, you can't get to it. It's not going to update itself. That means you have to go in and manually place it, which brings up problems of accidentally shifting images or deleting stuff and that kind of thing. It's also a nice way to track stuff, track information. So I want to keep this guy turned on. I go to Place. And then there you go. Now we got our big image because we've made everything just perfectly size as it fits just right. So you'll see right up in here you've got these two informations. It says it's a linked file. If I click on this thing, it's going to give me a preview of it. If I click on this guy, it's going to actually give me some options. It can tell me link file link information. I hope. There's all the actual information through here. So if there's any XM data attached to it, which there isn't much, okay, but if there was, you could be stuck on there. I can click on this guy. I can placement options. It can tell me link information, so it can tell me there's the fake ad, how big it is, where it's located if it's on a server, the percentage of scaling, etc., etc. So everything is nice and clean. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to save it back in my master class. Now I'm going to go. Oops. Go back here. I'm going to turn this off because and turn that off because it's a personal choice. Now we're going to go back to the Photoshop file. So now once we have this stuff, we're going to actually put on some sparkle and shine to this stuff. We're going to put some highlights on here, and I'm going to do these highlights really quick. You want to actually throw in highlights kind of wherever you got some nice shine to it. So there's a couple different brushes to use, and I'm going to double click on this layer, and we're going to make this layer called shine or sparkle, whatever you want. I'm going to make a new layer because actually this other layer is going to be called something else we're going to do in a second. I'll call this sparkles, but we're going to go on the shine layer for right now. In Photoshop there are a couple different brushes. There's like star brushes and that kind of stuff. They're not really super amazing, but they do the job for just quick to slowly build stuff up. And you can make your own brushes as well. So I'm going to go in here and actually show you. I'm going to make this brush really big. So if I was to click on here, give you a white brush. So this is kind of like what it looks like, super large. So they're not really pretty. So you kind of got to make them small. And usually what I do is I have the airbrush option turned on. I keep the opacity low. And I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to kind of like hit it once. I'm going to go over here and maybe I'll make it a little bit smaller. Hit it like that. And wherever else you may want a star, a little shine, a little polish right there. These are just, this is to the base. I wouldn't leave it like this. And you got to be careful on how much of this stuff you put on, but just kind of, just so you know. So once that's kind of set up and I got a base going on, I'm actually going to go back to my brushes. I'm going to just get a nice soft round, 300. And I'm going to slowly build up this. Just hit it once, hit it twice, hit it again, and just slowly kind of nice thing about doing this on one layer it's actually a little too much is that you can back them off and you can also blur them. So you can fuzz them out a bit. You can bring the fill of the opacity down. So now you have like some adjustments to the whole thing. So there's some kind of hot spots going on. And actually I might bring this back up. I'm gonna bring it way down and kind of hit that one a couple more times. And bring the opacity down a bit. There we go. Okay, so now we got some shine going on here. It's not a lot, and honestly, if I was doing this for a client, I would be heck of a way. I'd go in here and you gotta clean this stuff up here because there is some texture I'd like to fix. You'd actually go in, for example, use the pen tool, and I'd go back to my phone layer, and I would go in and let's just say I want to add, a nice hard line through here. I'd start from here, and then I would trace the actual lines themselves. I'm going to turn off this layer here, the fill, just so I can see what's going on. And I think I'm actually going to have to, I'll delete that. I'm going to actually have to add a control point. And I would run this down the whole length of the phone. And I gotta turn off all my adjustments on this thing so I can see what's going on. Go back to my shape. And I'm gonna run this all the way down there like so. And scooch that over. So this is actually kind of like one of my, I could bring this over here and fade it out, or I could bring it over there. I'm just going to bring this whole thing over like so. Okay, so this is my shape layer, so when I turn this thing back on, it's like this. I maybe want to make it a little bit blacker, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to number 1, turn this a nice dark color, multiply it, and then I'm going to add a layer mask. I'm going to just remove all this stuff, and then what I'm going to do is shape, go back in, and slowly add stuff in. So I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to hide all this junk just so you can illustrate. So what I'm doing is I'm coming in and I'm adding more definition to the actual bits and pieces. You'll see it makes it pop right away. Now how much definition you add is totally up to you. So just an example of other stuff that I would be doing in this actual product ad. So I would go ahead and make another one to run across through here and that kind of stuff as well. So for example, we could actually do one, and you do have the shape of the phone itself, so you can use this cutout of the phone, which I believe is right here.